Hey guys, what's going on? So, today we're going to talk about the number one reason why you're not seeing results and the results that you want to see from a fitness program, your current fitness program, future fitness programs, program. So, the real reason why someone doesn't get results, either in the short term or the long term, if they've stuck it out for a matter of months on one type of program or another. So, and surprise, surprise, this number one reason is a lack of consistency. So, you'll see other videos that say a lack of progressive overload is the case. I would agree with that completely. But look, you're not going to be progressive overloading anything if you do one program for a month and then you stop working out for a month and then you do a different program for a month and then you stop for a month, or you work out all summer long and then you don't work out in the fall and the winter, or you work out all spring so you can have a nice summer body and then you just don't work out in the summer because you have this great body. So why bother? Enjoy the gains, and then by the fall or winter you're not happy with how you look, or you've put on a few pounds since then. Okay, so a lack of consistency is what is killing your gains more than anything. Chances are, if you've been working out for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, okay, even longer, if you have stopped seeing results, it's not because those exercises are broken or stupid, or you're stupid, or you've hit your genetic limit, the natty limit, and it's time to hop on gear, or it's time to find, the ultimate super sciencey fancy program. And unless you pay top dollar for a super duper scientific program signed off by someone with a master's degree and a list of cereal box certifications, then you're not going to get results. And that's just not the case. You're not at your natty limit. You're not at your genetic limit. Okay, uh, not a helpful concept, and probably not an accurate concept. And you don't need these built by science type of gurus telling you that there's a study out there to prove that this type of split is the best and you shouldn't do that type of split. Look, if you are doing a current type of split that you enjoy and it gives you a little bit of motivation to go to the gym, that's great. Now, what needs to go hand in hand with your motivation is discipline. So, some people talk about discipline and they say motivation doesn't matter. Some people want to give motivational speeches. I think they're both very important. You need motivation and you need discipline. You need discipline to stay motivated, and you need motivation to stay disciplined. So if you're doing certain types of exercises that you enjoy, well, that's a great program. So whether that be with dumbbells, if you like using lots of dumbbells, bodybuilder style, you just think they're fun, well, okay, good. As long as you're consistent with that program, you'll get great results over time. Same thing if you really, really like calisthenics because you think it's cool to be able to manipulate your body through space and have really good balance, and you like staying lean. Okay, great. There can be benefits in that too, but just keep in mind no matter what type of tools you're working with, whether it's dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, or your own body weight, or your body weight plus small amounts of weight here and there, or over time large amounts of weight on weighted calisthenics, you need to be consistent, and there's going to be trade-offs. So there really is no perfect exercise for everyone and for every goal. There may be a best exercise for a specific person for a specific goal and at a specific point in their training, but unless we get more honed in on a definition of what we're looking for, we're not going to be able to make wise choices. In my experience, that's been the case. You need to factor in the individual more than just the built by science guru telling you what to do. Okay, so consistency doesn't just apply to a program. So if you're doing starting strength, or you're doing like a bodybuilding push pull legs, an upper lower split, full body 3 days a week, okay, great. Or if you've signed on to a program, if it's a Beachbody or Athlean X or whatever. Okay, if you've got some exercises there and you can do them relatively pain-free, you have access to the equipment, the facilities, maybe it's a home gym, yeah, do those things consistently and milk them for what they're worth. Okay, even a bad program is going to work pretty good on a beginner. But look, consistency doesn't just mean stick to your program longer than a month and try and see great results. Okay, and keep track of your results. Consistency also applies to, I would say, at least three specific areas within your program. And this is what's really going to keep you going. Not just because you stuck to a split and you showed up. That's great. If you don't show up, you can't make gains, right? If you're skipping workouts, if you're skipping weeks, it's just not going to cut it. But specifically, sticking to consistent exercises. So not only don't flip-flop your split or your program, but don't flip-flop between exercise within the program. So let's say same person, push-pull legs, they were doing barbell bench press. Now they're like, I'm going to trade that out for weighted dips. They do that for 2 weeks, get bored of it, and then they switch that out for dumbbell press. Technically they could still be doing a push-pull legs split, but they're not being consistent with their exercise choices, their exercise selection. So consistency with your exercises is also going to make a big difference, even if that sounds boring. And there's nothing wrong with swapping them out after several months, but I would say this, look, as far as exercise selection goes, give an exercise at least 3 to 6 months to work with, to milk some benefits. And the more trained you are when you become intermediate, and eventually if you get there, and you absolutely can, okay, so don't doubt yourself, advanced level of training, 3 to 6 months is such a short period of time to expect to see drastic changes. The more advanced you are, the slower you see results. So stick to exercises consistently, ideally years and years. Yes, you can dabble with little ones for fun, or you can cycle some things in. You can have accessory exercises, and I'd even recommend that, right? So if you're doing that bench press consistently, rather than trade it for a dip, just do dips on a separate day, or finish off your workout with dips or push-ups or the dumbbell press. Okay, you don't have to have one or the other. You can have a little bit of that, but the one that you spend the most amount of time on, the main lift, okay, you need to be able to reason your way through why that one is the best use of your time. Enjoyment may be a factor, but results should probably be the number one factor. Okay, great. So consistency in exercises matters a lot. Then there's consistency in technique. And a good example of where this would come into play is something like a pull-up. If someone's making explosive gains on pull-ups, they might start to really enjoy it. Maybe they've successfully been able to do, let's say it's a guy, 150 pounds, he can easily do 12 to 15 pull-ups in a set. He's feeling pretty good about pull-ups. And then he starts doing weighted pull-ups, and he puts just 10 pounds between his legs on a belt to start, or in a backpack or something like that, weighted vest, whatever is available to him. If he's not consistent with his technique, he's gonna easily enter the realm of ego lifting. I've been there. Yeah, okay, so one of the places that's going to make it hard to see progress is if you sacrifice technique in order to lift heavier weights over time, and the temptation for this will grow as you become closer to being intermediate. And once you're in that intermediate phase, because the gains are slower, you kind of want them to come faster, and in order to sort of sidestep and to cheat a little bit, you try and start bouncing more if it's bench press, or dive bombing more if it's a squat, or not going down as far. Yeah, and if it's the pull-up, same thing, not going as deep on the way down. I don't think you have to do dead hang pull-ups, but I should see one of my clients who I'm training do consistent range of motion, okay? And this is a mistake I've made in the past, specifically on the pull-ups, where it's like, doing 25 pounds between my legs for 10 looks really great, but then when I do 35 pounds between my legs, I'm shaving off a few inches of range of motion, and I'm swinging a little bit. Okay, so it's not quite the same demonstration of strength if your form has to break down. Now, if you consistently go to a not full range of motion, right? Totally subjective what full range of motion even is, but if you don't go to that consistently, at least you're being consistent. So not only does your exercise selection need to be consistent within a program, but your technique needs to be consistent, and I would say your intensity ranges. Okay, so intensities should fluctuate for the sake of your joints. I don't think you should keep the exact same type of stress or amount of stress for like a year straight. Only do sets of 3 or 5 on a deadlift or bench or squat. I think it's healthy to have multiple days within the week where you go a little bit higher stress and then a little bit lower stress, right? So like an intensity day, a volume day. If you're at a two session per week frequency per your exercises or most of your exercises. But then also what you could do is just have a couple top sets in each workout where those are at a certain range, like sets of 5 on deadlift, and then 2 or 3 back off sets, Romanian deadlifts, 8 to 12. Great. That exercise has a better stress fatigue ratio, and you're giving yourself a little bit of that variety of intensity. So it's going to be a little bit easier on your joints. That type of programming probably can stop you from having to switch between intensity day, volume day. You can just do a very, very strict, simple, caveman level linear periodization, right? So just work a little bit harder each time, whether that's 1 extra rep here or 5 pounds extra there. But the point is, you shouldn't do sets of 5 for a week, and then sets of 20 next week, and then sets of 10 next week, and then sets of 20 next week, and then sets of 5. You can vary between those, and for the sake of increasing tonnage, right? So reps times weight times sets equals tonnage. For the sake of increasing your tonnage, yes, you can fluctuate a little bit within, sort of rep ranges, like within 5 to 8 rep range, or within 8 to 10 or 8 to 12. Yeah, you can fluctuate a little bit week to week, but it's probably not good to fluctuate dramatically in intensity because it's just going to be harder to measure progress, right? So putting 1 extra rep onto a set of 20 is different than putting 1 extra rep onto a set of what would be 6 or 7 or 8 reps with 1 or 2 reps of reserve on the big 3, right? So consistency of a program. So pick a split, pick a program, even if it's just some trendy thing that you're already on and you're thinking, I got sucked in, I bought this thing, I'm not getting that great of results. Okay, well, if you're not getting great results, switch it. If you're looking for how to make your own program, customize it, stay tuned, that's a video coming up. But look, there's 4 big picture things. Pick a split, roughly speaking, a program, and be consistent. The exercises in that program should be consistent. The technique used on the exercises should not vary all over the place, and it should not break down just for the sake of adding weight to the bar. Okay? The intensity should be roughly consistent. So find a rep range that makes sense for you, your body, your level of experience, and your goals. So if you're not too interested in strength, feel free to train at a little bit lighter of an intensity. If you are doing strength, feel free to have some lighter exercises or some lighter sets or a lighter day. But don't flip-flop all over the place. So that's the big 4: intensity, technique, exercises, and the program itself. Then there's 3 tips I'm going to leave you guys with. And this is going to get you big results this year if you didn't get results last year that you're looking for. Track every workout. There's no excuse why you can't track your workouts. So if it's written down in a journal, written down in your phone on the little notes section, okay, and then if you want to take that information and put it on your computer in Google Docs or Microsoft Excel in a spreadsheet, you really want to get intense about it, you can do that. But certainly at least track it in your phone or in a notebook, notepad, something like that. All right, if you write down every workout, you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're expecting yourself to memorize months and months of training. You might be able to remember pretty much every workout within this week or last week, but you're not going to remember, every set, every weight, every exercise you do 6 months from now. It's just not going to happen. So you need to write things down. Tip number 2, don't skip your workouts. Okay, let's say you're just not feeling it. You're thinking, I can put this off. I can give it a few days. Don't do that. All right, there's exceptions. If you have special occasions, right? It's somebody's birthday or whatever. Try and squeeze it in a different time of the day. If you had a full hour long leg workout planned, try and get a half hour leg workout in. I mean, come on, make a compromise. At least do something. But skipping it entirely is going to set you up for failure. Why? When we skip our responsibilities in life, that becomes a habit. It could be anything. It could be anything. Studying for school, brushing your teeth, whatever it is. You need to do things that require discipline consistently in order to help yourself stay disciplined. So if you get sick, that's one thing. Ease your way back into your workouts. But if you don't have a good excuse, okay, if you don't have a doctor's note, you need to show up. You need to put the work in, especially on the days where you're kind of tired and you just don't feel like it. If you can get through it on that day, then you can get through it on any good day. All right, tip number 3, this is the last one. Review your progress every month or so, okay? Certainly every couple of months. And what that would look like is you look at your phone, you get to the notes, you go to your journal, you pull it up, and you look quite literally 30 days apart or 60 days apart, and you go, what was I lifting? So if you're a rookie, a novice, and there's no shame in being a beginner. So when I throw that word, it's not to denigrate you. If you're a novice on the deadlift and you were doing 135 for 3 sets of 8 at the start of January, and at the start of February, you're able to do 150 pounds on the deadlift for 3 sets of 8. Well, then that's great progress. On those working sets, you added 15 pounds to your deadlift in a month. That's fantastic progress. Don't be disappointed with that. And if you weren't writing down your workouts, you might not know you made that much progress. You might know you're a little bit stronger, but you wouldn't have it down on the numbers level. Okay? So that is so rewarding. That's going to help you stay motivated, stay disciplined. It's going to help you refine your goals. Okay? So take bite-sized pieces out of big goals. It's okay to have goals for the entire year, but make them bite-sized pieces. Track every workout. Don't skip your damn workouts. And actually review your progress. So that way you have a reason to keep doing it. And this way you can tell if you are making progress or not. Sometimes when people say, I'm not making very good progress and I'm weak, and then you look at their numbers, they actually are making progress. It's just a little slow, and that's okay. It will get slow over time. The more time you put in, the slower the progress gets. It's diminishing return. It is what it is, but it's worth it. The journey is epic, so stay strong, put the time and effort in, and you're going to get great results. Okay? Be consistent. That's the takeaway. All right. Take care. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you next time.